just come to lay down any way that feels right, any way that feels good. Yeah. Take a load off. And just give yourself this moment to arrive. Sometimes the transition from out there to in here into your yoga practice can be a little abrupt. Take this moment just to let your body and your mind arrive into the same place. Just your level of energy, quality of breath. Just let your head take a little turn from side to side. No tension in the neck, just a little bit of movement here. And then we'll let the head rest, coming back to middle. And if your legs are long, go ahead and bend up your knees so the feet are on the floor. And then we'll do a little bit of moving through the pelvis here, kind of like cat-cow. So as you inhale, create a small little arch in the back and bring the tailbone more towards the floor. And then as you exhale, let the belly drop down and let the pelvis tilt so that the tailbone moves up towards the ceiling. Just take that a few more times. You might notice movement traveling up through the whole spine and into the head. You might feel a little weight shift in the feet. And then let's pause when it feels like you're in neutral. It's just whatever feels neutral to you. Pause there, and without disturbing your pelvis, can you tone a little bit through the belly? Also do that without flattening the low back. Yeah, so just normal curves in your spine. Lift the right leg up and then the left leg up. So we're in this tabletop position, and we'll just stay here for a little bit. And if you want a little more challenge, you could take the arms up just right in front of you, or let the arms draw back a little bit, or let the arms go a little wider. So I'll leave it up to you with the arms. And then let's let the legs come maybe an inch further forward, not far, because we're going to hold it for a little bit longer. Yeah. Now from here, keeping everything else the same, just the right leg. Let the leg come a little bit further forward and tap the toes on the floor. And then come back up. Just the right leg, a couple more times. And if going all the way to the floor isn't working, just go part of the way. And let the stability of the spine and the pelvis be more important than the movement. So the stability is more important than the movement. Yeah. Next time the leg comes back up, we'll pause. Now, without twisting or turning, take the right knee out to the right and keep everything else, so the arms facing up, the left knee facing up, and then come back to center. Just do a couple more of these. I find this one is a little more challenging. If you go too far, everything's going to fall to the right. So you just want to go a little bit. Yep. And then come back to the center. Take a brief little pause. You can bring the knees in, maybe give the legs a little stir. Another direction. And then we'll start the same way in our tabletop position, arms right in front of you, legs just teensy bit forward, like an inch. Just the left leg, down and up. Maybe the toes touch the floor, maybe they don't, but keep the stability, the most important thing. So stability through the midsection and through the pelvis. This is just the leg that's moving. And of course, I didn't count how many we did. So let's just do one more here on the left side. And then we'll change to the outward abduction. So take the knee out to the side and back to center. Any amount without letting the pelvis rock and roll. Yeah. Good, good, good. And then come back to center. Take a little pause, bring the knees in, take a little circle again. Yeah. Great. And then maybe the other direction. So let's put the feet down on the floor, just in your starting position. And press the right foot, especially the heel, down a little bit more into the floor. And you see how that tones the right buttock and the back of the leg. And then back it off. Do the left side, just press the heel down into the floor. And back it off. Now, Mary, you can keep working with the hips on the floor. Brian, if you'd like to come bridge up, go ahead and let the pelvis lift, but not too high, just kind of a comfortable medium lift. And then from here, let's do our weight shift again. So press the right heel towards the floor and back off, and then the left heel towards the floor and back off. Do one more on each side. And then we're going to stay when the left heel is pressing down. Let's keep the arms down alongside you. And then we'll do that lift and lower just on the right leg. And if you want to do this with the hips down, that's fine too. But keep a little pressure of the left heel going down into the floor. And it should be a little more work now for the left side as the right leg is moving along. And the next time the leg comes down, we'll go straight into the second side. So the right foot presses straight down, left leg lifts, and then up and down it goes. And notice in your own body if one side feels different than the other. One side's usually a little stronger than the other, more stable than the other. Yeah, and then when you're done, release that. Let the hips come down, take the feet wide, and let the knees just knock from side to side, little windshield wipers. Relax the belly, let the pelvis move. Yeah, and then from here, friends, we're gonna turn over onto one side. Doesn't matter which side you're on. I'm gonna say top and bottom rather than right and left. And let's prop the head up with the bottom arm. Keep the knees bent and the knees in front of the hips. And let's take the top hand on the pelvis just to kind of feel what's going on in the pelvis. First, we'll untuck the pelvis just a little bit, not max capacity. And then press the top hip down away from your head and let it roll ever so slightly forward so the top knee moves in front of the bottom knee. And without the pelvis shifting, it's going to want to roll back, but don't let it. Lift the top knee up and just hold any amount without the pelvis rolling back. And we're going to stay. Sometimes the mind doesn't like that, but here we are. Without the pelvis moving, let the knees come back together and then go up again and we'll stay. Just holding this shape. We won't do too many of these. And then it's starting to cook a little bit. Let's take it 2 more times. Lift up and stay. That's it. And last one, down and up and stay. Now, still without the pelvis moving, it's the same motion with the leg, but just a little more continuous. So we won't do the hold at the top. It's just continuous up and down. Yeah. And then it's about to get a little bit worse. Keep the pelvis stable, lift the bottom foot off the top foot, and then go internal rotation, external rotation, back and forth we go. Starting to smoke a little bit, yeah? All right, friends, take a little break. Give the hip a little rub if it needs it. And then we'll do one more thing on this same leg. So stretch the top leg out and stamp the wall in front of you. Untuck the pelvis, keep the top hip moving down towards the foot, and just a teensy bit roll the top pelvis a little bit forward. Yeah. All right. And then from this position, let's do our internal and external rotation. Now we've got a straight leg, so it'll feel a little different. But just like before, don't let the pelvis move around. Let it just be the leg that's moving. And the next time the toes turn down towards the floor, stay. Keep the foot reaching away from you and then lift up any amount without the top half of the pelvis creeping up towards your head, yeah? Keep it going down. Great. And then lower a little bit. Go up again and hold. Yeah, these are, I think, pretty awful. And then go down a little bit. Up and hold. We're only going to do one more. Down a little bit. up and hold. Stay up as much as you can. And now internal, external rotation again. Yeah. Great. And that's that. Release. Give the hip a little rub if you need it. Yeah, you can give it, smack it out. All right. So whatever side you were just working, let's lay on your back and now cross that one over, just ankle over the knee. And because it was just working a lot, you might not take a deep stretch here. So this might be enough, or you could lift the bottom leg and hold. Yeah, any kind of movement. If you stretch too aggressively after working, it'll spasm. It's not going to like it. So be delicate, gentle. And then we'll do all of that on the second side. I'm going to turn around just so my back is not to you. So when you're ready, turn over, side two. Let's start again with the knees bent in front of the hips. Prop up the head with the bottom arm. And then before we do the fancy stuff, let's adjust the pelvis. So untuck the pelvis, slide the top hip down away from your head, and slide it a little forward so the top knee goes about an inch ahead of the bottom knee. Put your hand on the pelvis to make sure it doesn't move. And then we'll lift the top knee and leg up and hold without the pelvis rolling back. Yeah, keep it rolling forward. And that will limit how far you go. Let the knee come down again. We'll do just 3 more of those, up and hold. Yeah, it's the hold that's the hard part. Down and up and hold. And last one, down and up and hold. They're going to keep going more continuously. It's still slow, but no hold at the top, which I think is a little bit of a relief. Still don't let the pelvis roll back. And then go ahead when the knee is lifted, lift the foot, and then we'll go in and out. So internal, external rotation with the bent knee. It's different than when the leg is straight later on. Yeah. Okay, enough is enough. Release that. Just give a little rub, a little shake. And then we'll stretch the top leg out, stamp the wall with the sole of the foot, untuck the pelvis, keep the top half of the pelvis pulling down away from your head and a little bit rolling forward. And then we'll do internal rotation, external rotation. Do a couple of these and see, yes, indeed, it's different when the leg is straight. And then we're going to pause in internal rotation. Lift the leg a little higher without the pelvis creeping up. And then lower a little bit. Let's do 3 more of those. Lift up and hold. And lower a little bit. Up and hold. Yeah, the mind sometimes gives out before the leg. So just tell your mind it's okay. Down and then up and hold. Go up a little higher if you can, and then internal, external rotation here up at the top. Oh. Yikes. Okay, that's it. Release. Give it a little jiggle, a little wiggle. And whatever leg was just working, we roll over onto our backs, and that's the leg that comes up. So you decide maybe it's just here, or maybe you pull in. You could add any kind of movement. Gentle, gentle. All right, friends. Come out of this one. Let's do a quick thigh press. So feet on the floor, hands press into the legs, and just press straight ahead, hands into the legs. Yeah. And then we'll undo. Turn over on the all fours position. Find your hands and knees. And then after some of the stuff that we just did, let's take a little side to side with the hips. Yeah, that feels good. I love it. I propped up the computer so I can see you guys both really well from this angle. Let's pause the movement here. Reset yourself, just neutral. And start to move now through your cat-cow, back and forth. Just go whatever way feels comfortable. And then we'll press back for a brief, brief child's pose. Go onto the fingertips for a second, just to give the wrist a break, and try to lift the center of the palms and the wrists away from the floor. We will reset, coming back up to your all fours. Clear the shoulders and counter that by lifting up a little bit through the low belly. Let's bring the knees a bit closer together, more towards the midline. And then the right leg will lift. The knee stays bent. Bring the knee forward, out to the side and back. So kind of drawing a circle, but try not to let the pelvis wobble around. So it's just the leg. Yeah. You may have discovered the theme of this class. We're going to pause the next time the knee is in the wide position, yoga skydiver. Sometimes we're here and the pelvis drifts left. Can you pull the outer left hip in towards the midline? If you want to add on, pick up the left arm. And here we are. Yeah. Now you might feel like the right hip is spent, but we're going to do one more thing. Put the hand down. Take the right knee, not all the way back, but about halfway back. If you're in the middle of a clock, it's at about 5 o'clock. And then with the knee bent, you'll lift and lower. If you've ever taken dance class, this is the attitude position. Yeah. Even if you haven't done dance class, just do this one with the attitude. Good, good, good. Okay, enough is enough. Put the knee down. Let's go back to child's pose. Yes, friends, take another little side to side here within the child's pose. And let's do another hand break. Flip the hands over and curl the fingers in and out. Maybe bend at the wrists too. Yeah. All right. So let's do the left side. Coming back to your all fours. Same thing as before. Clear the shoulders, lift the belly, bring the knees in a little bit, a little closer to the midline. And then the right leg stays, lift the left knee out to the side and back, just stirring it around in a circle. Nice and slow, keep the stability through the pelvis and the spine. Keep the low belly lifted so the low back doesn't arch too much. And then we're going to pause with the knee to the side, pull the outer right hip in. You choose if the right arm is coming up or not. Oh, yeah. Keep the leg up, put the arm down. Bring the knee back about 7 o'clock or so. And then up and down comes the leg in this position. Yeah. Just getting all angles here, huh? Okay. And then enough is enough. Put the knee down. Any kind of child's pose. Anything with the hands, anything with the feet, anything with the hips. All right, let's give our hands a little break. We'll come forward and down onto the belly for a moment. Scoot your legs back and down as you arrive down there. And just fold the hands. You can rest the forehead down on the hands. We'll do a little lazy stuff for a second. Bend the knees and just let the legs take a little swish from side to side. Yeah. And then from here, we'll put the legs down. Zip up through the low belly. Think of drawing the pubic bone and the front lower ribs closer together. And then keeping that, don't let it go. Let the legs start to lift off the floor, and they're not going to go too high. Think of lifting more through the inner leg and less with the outer leg, and that'll take you up even less high. Yeah. We'll just hold this position. So it's a lot of work for the inner thighs. And then lower yourself down. Let's go again. Lift through the belly, lift through the legs. And down one more time. Yeah, now for the next bit, you'll lose a little bit the lift in the belly. Take the hands forward, bring the elbows in slightly, and without moving your arms, try to pull the arms towards the back of the mat. Pull the chest towards the front of the mat, and maybe let the head lift up out of this situation. Yeah. All right. Lower yourself down, make another pillow for your forehead, bend the knees, and in a nice, lazy, easy way, just go back and forth here. Yeah, all this work here in the hips and we haven't even stood up yet. So let's put the legs down. Send yourself up and back into downward facing dog. And just take a second if you want to stretch out the legs, move the hips around. You can just take whatever you need. And then we'll separate the feet wide, bend both knees, walk your hands to the back of the mat, and prop yourself up here with the forearms on the thighs. Send the inner thighs back, right at the tops of the thighs there, and also press wide apart. Pull the chest forward, and in your feet, root down a little more through the ball of the big toe. Yeah. On the next inhale, we'll come all the way up, lengthen. And exhale, release the arms. Great. Let's stay at the back of the mat. Just be kind of lazy in your stance. Move around a little bit any which way. And then we'll do some Utkatasana poses that are a little reminiscent of the bridge we did in the beginning. So let's settle your movement down and reset your stance so feet are right underneath you. I'm going to face the side. Let your knees bend. Bring the hips back, not too far. And then let's take the hands to prayer. Now press a little more weight into the left heel and feel how that fires up the back of the left leg. And then press a little more weight into the right heel. Yeah. Do that one more time on each side. So the left side and then the right side. We're going to stay with the right side heavy. Just lift the left heel off the floor, but don't go anywhere. And then down. Press the left heel down, firm up the back of the leg, and then let the right heel lift, but don't go anywhere. Yeah. And then set the heel down, just come back up to this to stand, just wiggle a little bit. So we'll go back into Utkatasana, bend the knees, bring the hips back, hands to prayer. And remember how it felt a second ago when you put the weight on one leg and the back of the leg turned on? Can you try to do that on both sides together? Yeah. Sink back a little deeper. At the very, very tops of the thighs, press wide apart. Counter that action in the feet, root down through the ball of the big toe to make the weight even, like you've got a good even footprint. Yeah, one more breath in. Exhale, let it go, lift the hips, drop the head, forward fold. You can take a little side to side if that feels good to you. Yeah, and then from your position, let's take a halfway lift. We're going down to plank and we'll stay. Of course, if you need to do an alternative to plank, that's fine. Look at you guys, and yeah, okay, great. Can you clear the shoulders? Can you lift the belly? And without moving the hands, try to pull the thumbs in towards each other. Take a teeny bend in the knees. And without moving the feet, try to press the feet towards the back of the mat. And this is not hard, it's just a little bit. Yeah. And then we'll put the knees down. Take a little break in child's pose. Wiggle a little bit. And then we'll come forward and down again to the belly. And we'll stretch out through the opposite side here. Stretch the arms back with the palms facing your body, so the tips of the thumbs on the floor. Lift the front of the shoulders away from the floor so the upper back engages. Keep that, stretch back through the toes, lift the legs and lift the arms. It's a variation on Shalabhasana. We'll just stay. If it's feeling pinchy at all in the lower back, go closer to the floor so you don't come up quite as high. Yeah. And if you're here, or really any position, can you lift the arms a little more without letting the front of the shoulders drop? And then let the arms relax a little bit. Let's do that a few more times. Just a slow motion, up and down, firming through the backs of the arms. A little extra work here in the triceps. Yeah. And then when you're done, come all the way down, turn your head to one side, just do a little pancake asana for a sec. And we'll bend the knees, give yourself a little swish again. This little back and forth here. Good, good. Let's release the legs and press back into downward facing dog. Go ahead and just get there. And then from your down dog, let's meet in a forward fold. Any way you want to get there is fine. Slight bend in the knees, press out through the thighs to come up. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, release the arms. All right, friends. So for the next little bit, if you like to have blocks for your hands for lunges, you can get them. If you don't need them, just leave them out. So a second ago when we were in plank I had us bend the knees a little bit and push the feet back, which is a very weird thing to do in plank. We're gonna do it next in lunge, and it should make a little more sense in the lunge. So let's stand in your mountain pose. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, down we go, forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen. On the way down, step the right leg back, set up for lunge, keeping the knee off the floor, the back knee, but bend it a little bit. Yeah. Now feel what happens to the back of the right leg when you press the foot lightly down, but firmly back, like you're trying to press it towards the back of the mat. And you see how the kind of the buttocks and the back of the leg firm up a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. Let's keep that, keeping the back knee slightly bent. Now press into the front heel and try to press the front heel forward. So we've got this down and apart going on. Slowly let the back leg start to lengthen, but keep the idea of pushing the foot back and also lift a little bit more through the inner thigh. So legs are really working here. I wouldn't say to do every lunge like this, but for today we're doing extra. Now the arms, the legs are working so hard you probably don't need arms. You can just do whatever you want with the arms. You could hold one position, you could do different things if you wanted to. Almost done here. Let's now bring the arms down. Let the legs relax a little bit. Go ahead and bend the back knee deeper and straighten the front leg, and then switch. Front knee bends, back leg straightens. Do that a few times. And if you wanted to here, when you shift back, you could lift the left, the sole of the foot off the floor if you wanted to you. Only one more thing, friends, in this position, and my intent is to have it be more of a stretch. So let's bend the front knee, lengthen the torso long, take a twist, turning open to the left side, and then pull the outer left hip back towards the back of the mat as the left arm reaches overhead, just to give a little kind of lengthening sensation on the outer hip. That's it, and look down at the floor, release the arm. If you're on blocks, let's get rid of them. Go back just to downward facing dog. Stay in down dog. We can add a little side to side shift if you like. And then from here, we'll let the movement settle. Let's come to the front of the mat and we'll go mostly into side two. So from the front of the mat, take a halfway lift just as a transition, and then lower yourself down. Left leg steps back with a little bit of a bend in the back knee. And then that leg was just working quite a bit when it was the front leg. So let's press the toes down and back to turn this guy on. And then the right one, press down and forward. That's it. Slowly let the back leg start to go straighter without losing the effort that you created in the glutes. Keep the inner thigh lifted. And then the heels are pressing down, or the feet, are pressing down and apart. Anything you want to do with the arms, it's so easy when the legs are working this strongly, isn't it? Yeah. You guys look fantastic. Let's put the arms down. And bend the back knee, let the front leg go straighter. And then bend the front knee, let the back leg go straighter. Take that a couple of times more. Yeah. All right, and then we'll land in the front knee bent position to do the twist. Let's turn open to the right side, lifting the arm first. And then draw the outer hip back towards the back of the mat and take the arm overhead towards the front of the mat. Yeah, just getting a little extra length in there. And then again, we'll go to down dog. So turn down. So let's get out of this situation. Back to down dog. Anything you want, you could do that little shift again, or just be still if you prefer. Yeah. All right. So that was a lot of work for the backs of the legs, gluteus maximus. Next, we're going to do a little more work for the side hip. So let's come into a forward fold, just as a transition. Bend the knees a little bit. Inhale all the way up we come. And exhale, release the arms. Yeah. Take a little hula hoop once you're standing. And then other direction. Now I think you guys have blocks. I'm going to show this two ways. And you can have your hand on a wall or a piece of furniture if you need. So if you're using a block, you'll stand the left foot on the block and the right leg dangles beside. If you don't have a block, left foot stands on the floor and then the right knee bends. And this is just in an effort to clear the floor because we're going to be doing some work with the standing hip. Yep, so come into whatever version of this you're in. I'm going to mirror you here. So the left leg is the standing leg and the right leg is up. If you're on a block, the leg is straight. If you're not on a block, the knee is bent. And it doesn't have to be bent a lot. It's just so the foot is not on the floor. Now let the left hip just kind of sag a little bit to the side. And this is not normally how we would want it, but just so you feel that. And then press the left foot firmly but slowly down. And at the same time, let the outer hip draw in towards the midline. And then relax. And don't let the hip swing so far out to the side, but just kind of relax and see that it does that a little bit on its own. And then go again. Press the foot down and the outer hip in. And relax. Let's do that a few times. I'm going to keep indicating with my hands. All right, it's a little similar to some of those leg lifts we were doing, huh? Let's pause in the position where we're creating a little effort. And then arms here, maybe they're down, maybe they're out to the side, maybe they're up. Good, good, good. So much work for the standing leg. And then let's come all the way down, release that. And maybe give the hip a little rub or the leg a little shake, whatever you need to do. Setting up for your side two. So again, either on the block or not, and maybe with the hand on a wall. So here's our second side. And just let the standing hip, that's the right one, let it sink a little bit. And then press the foot down and let the outer hip hug in at the same time. This side for me is a different story. And then relax and do that a few times. So press down and draw into the midline. Guys. And then we're going to hold in the position where we're creating the effort. Stay like that. Maybe the arms do something else. Maybe they don't. It's all about the standing leg. The lifted leg, just wherever it is, it is. Oh, okay, and then down we come, release. Shake it out, wiggle a little bit. Yeah, so when we're doing this action, also when we're laying, or not even laying, but taking the leg outside of the midline, that's activating the couple muscles here, the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. So we're going to keep those guys active when we do the next couple of poses. Let's take your blocks and just have them, we're going to stand in the middle of the mat and have the blocks one on each side like so, if you're using blocks. Stand in the center and either step or jump your feet to go wide. And we'll just pick a side here. Let's go this direction. So the left leg will turn in, the right leg will turn out. And in this position with straight legs, it's not exactly the same, but same idea. Remember when you were standing on your block or on the floor, press the back foot down and try to press it back a little towards the back of the mat in an effort to turn on the side hip here. Yeah? And then don't do. Do it again, press down and out. Now it's not something you want to do to max capacity. Yeah, it's just enough so that it turns on a little bit. Let's let it relax somewhat. Bend the right knee, and as you're bending it, lift the heel slightly so that you can come a little deeper, and then let the heel come down onto the floor. Let's find the back leg again, press down and out, just enough for this guy to turn on. We'll raise the roof with the arms, drop the shoulders, drop the ribs, create a little resistance like you're pressing into something thick as the arms go wide. Virabhadrasana 2. You can look to the right hand or you could look straight ahead, whatever you want. All right, friends. Now from this position, We're gonna back off a little bit. Take the hands to the hips and take a tilt in the pelvis. So deepen the right hip crease and then come back up. Just do that a couple of times. Yoga disco party here. And then we're gonna stay in the tilted position. Let's stretch the right arm forward, but not down. Find the left leg again. Press down and out through the foot so that the outer hip hugs in. And now reach more towards the wall in front of you, like you could touch the wall with your hand. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of work. In both legs, press down a little more with the heels, less of the toes. And we're gonna come right back up. Oh, that was our side angle for now. Let's go to all of that on side two. So turn the right leg in, turn the left leg out, hands to the hips. Find this first. So press the heel down and outward so that that turns on. And then let it relax. Let's bend. We're going to warrior two first. Bend the left knee, lift the heel a little bit. Inner groin to inner knee lengthens. And then once you're there, put the heel down. A little bit on the back leg. Press foot down and out so that guy turns on. Now let's raise the roof. Drop the shoulders, drop the ribs, press into the air. It's really thick, create some resistance. Gaze can look left or straight ahead, whatever you prefer. Virabhadrasana 2. Yogis. Now we're heading into the next one. You know it's coming. Back off a little bit at first, hands on the pelvis. And then let's find that tilt, just creating a little mobility here. And then we're going to stay in the tilted position. Stretch the left arm out and do the action on the back leg. So kind of both directions we go. And now see if you can go more forward, a little more down, and try to touch the wall with the left arm. Keep the back leg really active. Press more into the heels, less into the toes. Yeah, I know. It's so tempting to just put the arm down, isn't it? Don't do it. Come back up. Ah. All right, I'm like sweating bullets here. We're going to side one again. Same idea, but we'll head in a triangle, and I'll let you put the arms down. So let's go the other direction. Bend the right knee a little bit at first, and let's find that same reach that we did. So you're reaching out here, but on the back leg, press the heel down and let the outer hip hug in. Yeah. Now, kind of all at the same time, let's press into the right heel. Try to press the heel forward as the leg lengthens and the hand comes down. It might land on a block. It might land on your shin. It might land on the floor. Once you're in position, let's keep the effort going on the back leg. And see here, just like when we were in lunge, the legs are so strong that the arms could theoretically do whatever. But we're going to just go classic here. So the right hand is down, the chest turns up, left arm comes up. And keep this one all about the legs. I know they're tired, but still to stick with it. Yeah? Sometimes it's the brain that gives up before the body. Tell the brain, we're okay. We got this. Right. Little bend in the front knee. Bring yourself up. Ha. Hands to the hips. We're going the second side. So, same way as before. Bend the front knee a little bit, the new front knee. Let's find that tilt and find that reach. So the arm is reaching out, but the back heel is pressing down and out, so you keep that support through the outer hip. And then we'll press into the left heel to straighten out the leg as we descend the arm. Hand on something here, the shin, the block, the thigh, wherever. Legs are so strong that the arms could do anything. Test it out for a second, yeah? And then we'll go classic arms. So even though you've now got the bottom hand on something, let it still be all about the legs for the moment. Press down and out through the heels. Keep the outer right hip turned on. We're going to bend the front knee a little bit, and then up we come to center. Oh. Parallel your feet, yogis. Let's come back together. Just take a little bit of anything. Yeah, move around a little bit. We're so strong, huh? Yeah, let's see, what time is it? Oh, we got plenty of time. So let's move the blocks just out of the way. And And we're going to take another version of chair pose with a possible add-on. So remember when we did that with the weight shift? Let's come to the front of your mat. Hands to the hips, feet a little bit apart, bend the knees, bring the hips back, don't go too low. Yeah, let's stay here. Keeping the hands, let's take them actually to prayer. Push down a little more with the left heel. Yeah, there it is. And then at first, maybe that's it. Yeah, if you got more in you, lift the right heel. If you still have more in you, stretch the arms out on the diagonal. Yeah, I'm about spent, but I'll show you the next one if it's available. You take the right leg straight with the toe just barely touching the floor. If that's not going to work, go back to this position with the heel lifted. Notice, so all the weight's on the left leg, but we don't want the left hip to jut out to the side. Hug the outer hip in like we just practiced in the last one, and then come up to stand rest. Yeah, so we're going to side two. Same thing, knees bend, hips shift back, not too low. Hands to prayer. Press more into the right heel. Yeah, there it is. And then the left heel can lift if that's available. If you're still good for more, take the arms out on the diagonal. And if you're still good for more, left leg comes out, toe just barely touches the floor. Keep the outer right hip drawing in towards the midline. Yes, I know. Okay, and then enough is enough. Back to chair, back to mountain pose. Take a second. Yeah, we're not done here, but we are going to take a little detour. So let's stay at the front of the mat. Inhale, we're up. Exhale, we're down. Forward fold. Come up halfway, lengthen. And then we're done. We're done here. Go back to plank pose, plank to the belly. Yes. Oh, it feels so good to come down to the belly. And then let's take a slither cobra. Come up just a little bit. One shoulder and then the other. Just a little roll back and forth we go. Just little by little here. All right. And then let's pause in the middle. Take the left forearm in front of you, bend the right knee and hold on to the foot or the ankle. Any version of this is fine too if there's other ones. Any hand hold you can do. Yeah, just a little quad stretch. And then we'll switch to side two. Right leg goes down, left knee bends. Oops, sorry, find the foot or the ankle. Holy moly, this is always my tighter side. And then here we are on side two. All right, friends, release the leg, take a little wiggle here. Let's go back to downward facing dog and take this one with wide apart feet. Just like we did in some of the other shapes, little bend in the knees. Press the mat forward, send the hips back, widen the upper thighs, hug in a little through the ankles, and then let the legs start to lengthen. Oh, yeah. And then to get out of this, let's just walk the hands to the back of the mat. We've got our wide stance in the legs here. Bend the knees and prop the forearms on the thighs. We've been here before. We're just going to take a twist each direction. So pick a side, turn open, lift. And down we come, changing sides, turn open and lift. And down, root down through the legs, inhale all the way up we come. And release. Yay. Okay, are you ready for a grand finale with those glutes? It's gonna be something, yeah? All right, so if you have blocks, go get them. And I think I'm just gonna talk you through this as we go, and I'll mirror you. So when this leg, this will be right leg. It's my left, but it'll look like right. So we'll hold the blocks in your hands. Feet are about hips width distance apart. Let your knees bend, shift the hips back, but not a lot. Pick up your right leg. Now for this first one, you likely won't go too low, but some of you might be able to go down low enough that the blocks tap the floor. And then we come up. Take the right leg out to the right, take the blocks to the left, hips go back, tap the floor. and up. Now the right leg crisscrosses behind. The knee bends, we tap the floor. And up. Last one, hinge forward, tap the floor. My wall is in the way, but you can come back, keep the standing knee bent. And then up to center. We go again on the same side. Leg comes forward, hips come back. Maybe you tap the floor. I'm not even gonna try. And then we're up. Leg goes out to the right, arms go to the left, hips come back, tap the floor. And up, leg crisscrosses behind. Arms go the other way, we tap the floor. And up. Chest comes forward, leg goes back, bend the standing knee down. And up, we're gonna do one more time on this leg. Leg goes forward, hips come back, we tap. And up. Leg goes to the right, arms go to the left, hips shift back, we tap. And up, hopefully didn't just fall like I did. Leg goes crisscross, blocks come down, tap. And up. Chest comes forward, leg comes back, we tap down. And up, that was enough. Oh my goodness, 3 times is a lot, isn't it? Yeah, let's take the feet kind of wide and just do a lazy kind of side to side like this. Because who knows, maybe the other side's your stronger side and it's downhill from here. I don't know until I'm in it. Let's try, let's find out. So the knees bend, hips come back, your left leg comes up, and then maybe you tap down and up. Let's take the leg to the side, arms go to the right, down and up. Crisscross the leg behind, we go down and up. Chest comes forward, leg goes back, standing knees bent, down and up. Left leg forward, arms go down, we tap down and up. Leg to the side, arms to the right, down and up. Crisscross behind, down and up. Arms in front, leg in the back, down and up. We can do it, you guys. One more round. Leg comes forward, arms go back, we go down and up. Arms to the right, leg to the left, down and up. Leg to the other side, arms to the other side, down and up. Chest to the front, leg to the back, down and up. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. All right, let's see. Mary's fanning herself at the blocks. All right, let's just take an easy, not super wide, but kind of medium wide. Bend the knees in a relaxed way. Let the arms rest on the legs. And just take a little side to side here. Oh my goodness, that was so hard, wasn't it? I won't make you do it again, but there's a few things I forgot to say. Wait, maybe we'll do it again some other time. Oh, you guys. All right, let the movement settle. Root down through the legs, come all the way up with the arms. And release the legs, the arms I meant, yeah. Okay, so we're going to do, next we'll do just easy stuff. Let's come down to the floor and I'm gonna face you and I'll mirror you with my instructions. I don't think you'll need blocks, but you might want a blanket or some sort of height for the pelvis. Totally up to you. Let's have your right leg wide and the left knee bent in and the hands behind you. Press down to lift up. And don't let the right leg roll in or out. Keep just right in the middle there on the center of the heel. And then let yourself start to hinge forward. Arms can crawl out in front of you. And maybe you go a little more, maybe you don't. Sometimes we think we're going more though, and then the leg has just shifted and the pelvis is lifted. So see if you can keep this stable as you lengthen through the spine. So we don't think of those poses as working on the inner thigh, but many of them do kind of indirectly. So stretching that out a little bit. Bring yourself up. Let's turn towards the bent knee. Take a twist. Lift the chest. Turn your face to look forward and take the back arm, that's the left one, up and over just for a little bit of a side bend. Yeah. And then we come up. We'll undo, bend the right knee, lengthen the left leg, and set up for side two. First, just take a good seat. Make sure you're lifted. Make sure the leg isn't rolling in or out. And then start to come forward straight through the middle. So if your pelvis were train tracks, one arm on each track. This side for me is always so much tighter. It's so funny. It's the right inner thigh, the left quad. I've got my sides. And then other things flip-flop. Sometimes one is tighter, sometimes it's the other one. Let's keep the legs the same. Bring yourself upright. Turn towards the bent knee, twist. Left hand can come to the knee. Turn your face to look forward. Stretch the right arm up and over. Nice little side bend there. Yeah, and then we'll come up. Let's unwind. Stretch both legs out just in front of you and give a little jiggle, wiggle, Babasana. Yeah, so next we'll take Baddha Konasana, but we'll do it kind of a special way. So if you have a block, set up a block on the lowest height, and then you'll set up the feet on the block, but that bony protrusion, the ankle, is going to not be on the block. It'll be just behind the block. Now in this position, if you want to bring the feet and the hips closer, instead of pulling the feet to you, lift the hips, scooch the pelvis a little forward, and then come down. And that'll help keep you upright rather than coming, see how I'm tipped back here, so we don't want to tip back. Let's keep the hands behind you. Press down through the hands and just a little bit, try to press the hands towards the back of the mat. Attempt to maintain normal curve in your lumbar spine rather than going the other direction. Yeah. Now do this very lightly. Press the outer foot into the other outer foot, just pressing into the center. And just imagine here that in doing so, you can make the shin bones shorter and the thigh bones longer. So just kind of have that image in your mind. Yeah, good. And then let's relax. Use the hands to lift the legs. We'll take the block, just move it out of the way. Let's stretch both legs out long in front of you, and then scooch both feet a little left, not a lot, just a couple inches. Bring the left leg over the right with the bent knee, and then press the sole of the right foot outward, especially the heel. Now the leg is slightly off center. Center the chest to line up straight ahead so the chest and the leg are a little bit crisscrossed. Press the hands down into the floor, sit up tall. And then try to press the mat back with your hands as the chest hinges forward, and it's not going to go far, just a little bit. Yeah. Come out of that. Let's undo. Scooch the feet and legs a little bit to the right, not too far. And then cross the right one over the left with the bent knee. Press the heel outward and the hands downward. And try to press the hands to the back of the mat as the torso angles forward. Yeah, a little goes a long way. Some of you might go deeper than I am here, but I'm happy just to stay right here. Yeah. All right, and then let's undo that. Stretch out the legs long. Give them a little wiggle jiggle. Now we've given our glutes a little bit of a break, so we're going to come into a deeper stretch, which should feel good after all of the stuff we've been working on. Let's come down to your back. We did this earlier, but we're going again. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh, and then pick up the left leg any which way. Hold on behind the thigh, in front of the shin, whatever you got. And then we'll adjust a little bit here. So take a second just to settle in, maybe take a little movement or anything. And notice, especially if the hips are really tight, you might be kind of lifting the back of the pelvis away from the floor. If that's happening, or even if it isn't, back off a little bit. Try to bring gently the tailbone a little more to the floor, creating more of a normal neutral lumbar curve. And then without changing the position in the spine, draw the left leg in a little more, maybe. If it's not possible, don't do it. And then activate the right foot. Press the sole of the foot a little left and let both legs go a little left. Little bit here. Yeah. So all of those things, but relax. Yeah. You're going to keep the right leg up there. Put the left foot down on the floor and then let both legs drop over to the left in this configuration. So for some of you, the right foot might touch the floor. For some of you, it will just hover. And then here we are. You might get this more in the outer hip. You might get it kind of in the side of the waist. Either place is fine. And if you find this enjoyable and want a deeper stretch, slide the left leg, the bottom leg, a little more towards your head and let the right leg come along. If that feels not so good, come back where you were. Yeah. Oh, you guys, we worked really hard here, didn't we? We're going to come back up to the center. Oh, and side two. So left leg crosses over. Let's bring the right leg in. Just take a second to kind of adjust, arrive, wiggle a little bit. And then let's pause. Do notice if the hips are really high off the floor. And let's everybody back off a little bit of the leg pull. Try to untuck the pelvis, moving the tailbone more towards the floor and just bringing normal lumbar curve back in. Activate the left foot and press the sole of the foot to the right and let both legs rock teensy bit to the right. Can you stay there? Relax your neck, your face, your shoulders. Oh, yeah. And then last but not least, let's put the right foot back down. Keep the legs set up like this. Both legs drop over to the right and you go to the outer edge of the right foot. Maybe touching the floor, maybe not. I'm just going to scooch a little so I'm still on the camera here. Yeah. And then on this side, who knows? You might feel it in a different way. If you want more stretch sensation, pull the right knee closer to your head. And time has come, my friends. More Shavasana. Let's come back up to center. Undo your legs. Let's take just a little thigh press, pressing the hands to the thighs. Now for anybody, of course, traditional Shavasana is fine. It might feel good to do this, letting the feet go wide and letting the thighs just knock in towards each other. Or you could do that with a prop in between the knees. I'm gonna sit just because it's easier for me to talk that way. As you do settle in here, bring your awareness all around the hips, the pelvis, the lower back. See if you can send your breath down here. Allow the belly to relax. Imagine the thigh bones themselves becoming a little heavier, dropping downward without any effort in doing so. Just let gravity do the work. Let the breath move through you.
Bring your attention back to your body. Start to create some movement, something small, something easy. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll to one side. Take your time to press up. We'll meet in a seated position. Hands at heart center. Thank your body, everything that it's able to do. And thank yourself for being here. Namaste.